Good morning. Welcome to the Wilton Report. My name is obviously Josh Wilton, and I'm the broker, a broker at Queenston Realty. I'm an owner at Queenston Realty, and we own Princeton Abstract. I own 𝐂𝐎𝐹 Real Estate Consulting. But today, we're going to talk about real estate. Specifically today, we're going to give you a recap of the 2021 New Jersey real estate market. And I think you had to have lived under a rock not to have heard that the real estate market was anything but scintillating in 2021, not only in New Jersey, but across the country. And then we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into Princeton and, give you a really, really, really easy metric to predict what's going to happen in the 2022 Princeton real estate market. So that being said, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to do a deep dive into the market. So again, what we're going to cover, 2021 market preview, current snapshot, and what the spring market will bring. So this first graphic is a New Jersey data. So this is the entire state of New Jersey from the tip of Sussex County, Bergen County, all the way down to 𝐂𝐎𝐹, and southwest New Jersey. So interesting that there was 17% fewer closed sales in New Jersey in 2021 than the previous year. And so there was a 35% one-year change in homes for sale. So that's the biggest number that we're going to talk about today is the scarcity effect. There was just fewer homes available on the market. Inventory was down 35% in New Jersey year over year. And then for the entire state of New Jersey, the median increase, not the average, the median increase in home prices was 10%. So the biggest number is the 35% reduction in inventory. And we're going to talk about that in a little more detail to help you get your head around what happened in 2021 and what's going to happen in 2022. So some other quick information for you. The single-family closed sales were down 20%. So as good as the market was, there was actually less volume in the state of New Jersey. Condo sales were down 12%. And adult community sales were down 13%. Yet, every single market, single family townhouse and adult community saw a median sales price increase. 9% basically for single family. And yes, that is a true statistic. The median single family home price in New Jersey is $441,000. I know New Jersey has some very pricey markets. Median condo, 10% to $317,000. And the adult community went up 16% to $290,000, which is an incredible growth, one-year growth, especially in the median versus the average. So the biggest issue in the 2021 real estate market was scarcity. And by that, I mean, there was not much to sell. A really silly analogy I gave when consumers would ask me what's going on, I said, remember those nature shows you used to watch in the African water hole in the dry season? And there was 1 million animals around the watering hole, and there was no water. That's what the real estate market was like in 2021. There was nothing for sale. So if you look at new listings, right, it was down over 1,000 units for single family. Year to date, it went from 127 to 107. There's 20,000 fewer single family homes for sale in the state of New Jersey year over year. That's an astonishingly large number, and quite a scary number if you're a buyer trying to buy one of those sales. Yet pending home sales basically stayed consistent. It went down 93,000 to 89,000. So it just tells you of what was for sale, the market absorbed more. Buyers bought more of the available inventory because of the fact they were forced into making quick choices. So, pending sales were good, down a little bit. But here's the thing. Closed sales in New Jersey were up. So think about this. There was fewer homes that came on the market. There was less inventory. Yet year over year, we sold more homes in New Jersey than we did the previous year. So it just shows you the fact that, the market was incredibly hot. Lower interest rates and low inventory forced buyers to make very quick decisions in 2021. And we're going to continue to see that in 2022. So this is the exciting slide if you're a homeowner in New Jersey. So you can see the increase in sales prices in 3 years. So if you owned a home in New Jersey and you bought it in 2019 in December, on average, you paid $408,000. In December of 2021, for the same house, you would have paid $552,000. Now, if you're a homeowner, that's equity. That is literally, as they say, money in the bank. And you can use that to refinance, send your kids to college, or better yet, don't refinance. And again, it was true across the board, 344 to 406 for townhouses and 233 to 322 for adult communities. So every segment of the market in New Jersey saw price increases. So if you were an owner, you saw massive equity increases. If you were a buyer, you were forced into a bidding war to catch up with what was happening in the market. And I think another thing, again, you had to have lived under a rock in 2021 not to hear about the national bidding wars. And, I heard stories of 60 bids on a house. We saw as many as 20, 30 here in Princeton. The Jersey Shore had record numbers of offers per home. Sellers, on average, last year in the state of New Jersey, received 102% of their asking price. So if you were a buyer and you couldn't figure out why your bid wasn't getting accepted and you didn't offer above the asking price in an escalating market, so the asking price was going up day by day, that's why. So, as a buyer, it was the ones who made the most aggressive offers that won. Townhouse condos, 100%, and adult families, 101% of their asking price. And this is the slide that I find just incredible. So the year-over-year snapshot in inventory in New Jersey, it's lean. There's just fewer homes. And this is December specifically in New Jersey. And I'm going to show you some data, and I want you to pay attention to it later because everyone's trying to figure out, how do I time the market? And the reality is you don't. Buy when you're ready to buy, sell when you're ready to sell. But there's a couple of nuggets I'm going to give you today, and we're going to talk about this, that can help you make sense of when you're ready to buy and when you're ready to sell. So that was the state recap. We're going to kind of jump locally to Princeton, and we're going to talk about different markets throughout the state today. But since I'm sitting on Nassau Street in Princeton, we're going to start with Princeton and kind of expand outward from there. So remember the little nugget I just said I'm going to give you? I want you to remember this number. 1 month supply of inventory. So inventory supply in December, right, year over year, went from 3 months to 1 month in Princeton. Townhouses and condos in Princeton went from 2.8 to 0.9. Year over year, that was the drop. So a 67% drop in absorption rate. And we'll talk about months of supply absorption rate. And that's driven by this. So single family homes in Princeton, standing inventory was down 61.1%. It's a frightening number. So when you look at it and you came into the December market as a buyer and you're thinking of a seasonal slowdown and every house you looked at had multiple offers, I'm showing you why. There was no houses to look at as a buyer. So the ones that did come on sold probably rather quickly. So this is an easy graphic, I think, to help people make sense of what happened in Princeton in 2021. And it was a ballistic market. So again, despite inventory being down, right, sold homes increased 33%. That's everything. That's condos, townhouses, duplexes, and single family homes. The value of homes sold in Princeton in 2021 year over year went from $288 million to $433 million bucks. That's up 50%. That is a massive swing. The average sale price, I tend to like average sale prices versus median. I think it gives you a little bit more of a realistic despite the swings you may see. Went from 1.0 million, 3 million to 1.17, 12% increase. So you saw a 12% increase in the average sale price. And again, sellers got 101.6% of their asking price. Not every seller, but most of the market. Days on market went down 30%. So homes sold 13% higher, 30% faster across the board, right? Across the board. The single family home price went from 1.1 to 1.2, right? The average sale price for a condo, duplex, or townhouse in Princeton went from $636,000 to $800,000. And we'll talk in the next coming weeks about why that is. But I can tell you it's because it's more affordable than this. And there's more buyers for a $636,000 product than there is for a $1.2 million product. So you're going to see continued pressure on the pricing here. That's a 26% increase in the average sale price in 1 year in Princeton. Days on market went down 30% for single families, 34% for condos and townhouses. And I'm going to bring you to an alarming stat. Not one to discourage you, but just shows you the movement of money into the Princeton market. In 2021, 188 homes sold for cash in Princeton. In 2022, 244 homes sold for cash. So of the 370 homes, 244 of them were cash offers. Pretty incredible. So that does not mean they got less than the asking price because they were cash. That just means they bid 101.6% of the asking price and they were cash. So that was a really amazing statistic for the Princeton market for 2021. So now I'm going to talk about something that hopefully if you take anything away from today, other than the bevy of numbers that I gave you as a recap, we're going to talk every week about strategy, how to buy, how to sell. And I'm going to try and leave you with one thing that you can take away and incorporate into your home search, into your home sale, or investment property search, investment property sale. So remember when I said, remember these numbers, 1 month of supply. So again, 18 homes for sale in December of 2020, 7 in December of 2021. It's a 61% drop in available inventory. Closed homes are up 28%. Days on market down 30%. So all these statistics, right? Inventory of homes down 62%. It went from 109 total to 41. So fewer listings, fewer standing inventory, 1 month absorption rate. So I want you to remember that number. And that's for single families. For the townhouse and condo market in Princeton, the supply went from 43 to 18. It's a 58% drop in supply. 2.8 months to 0.9 months of absorption rate. So what does that mean? It means this. 1 month of absorption rate is an extreme seller's market. Extreme. It means the seller holds all the cards. If this was a poker game, the seller has 5 aces and you have 1, 2 as a buyer. And you have to commit to the terms that they're looking for in order to secure that home. The other thing as a buyer that you want to make sense of is, what does this 1 month mean to me in terms of price? Well, if you look at this graph, right, 1 month supply of inventory generally means you're going to see an appreciating market if it holds true, and it held true for the entire 2021. We're going to see it hold true for 2022, and especially under $1 million market in Princeton, you're going to see rather significant price appreciation. So if you recall, right, the condo townhouse market, 0.9 months. So that'd be right about here. And if you recall, I'll test you, that market appreciated 26% last year. It's almost to the penny. So if there's one thing, if you're searching for a home and you need help and you're working with a realtor, you want to call us, great. You're working with someone else, great. Know the absorption rate for your market. Because if you don't know how to predict where the market's going, you will always be a step behind as a buyer. Now, as a seller, I'm not telling you to price your house 25% above the where market is. You're never going to sell it. But as a buyer, right, this is the important number to know. So that is the wrap for today. I want to thank you for listening in to the Wilton Report. Especially, we focused a lot on Princeton today in the 2021 recap. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can always reach out, 609-577-6786. Shoot me a text, and I'll get back to you right away. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.